5:40, 20 minutes now before 6 o'clock. If you have to be there at 6 o'clock, you have 20 minutes. You have to be there at 7 o'clock, you got any minutes. And if you had to be there at 5 o'clock, you're 40 minutes late, everybody. Getting ready for the big broadcast, Amy Coney Barrett, the judge, is going to get the questions today.
Now, I do not suggest that Judge Barrett personally desires these consequences or personally desires to devastate the lives of these two Vermonters. Far from it. But these are nonetheless the consequences if her stated views on the law prevail in the Supreme Court, and if Republicans are successful in filling this vacancy prior to November 10th. Well, then we know these views will almost certainly prevail. So that's what's at stake here. That's what weighs heavily on me as we begin these hearings. It also weighs heavily on the minds of the Vermonters I represent. I've heard from them.
I think that the unfamiliarity with the voice of Chuck Grassley, Republican, Patrick Leahy, right there, a Democrat, is not about the masks. It's apparently a triple Paladin squirt day at the U.S. Senate, and some have come up a little bit short.
It gets a little weird sometimes, and that's a circumstance I'd like to bring up to you because it touches on some of the stuff that I addressed yesterday. It's not even a case. Janice.
Yes.
Okay? Let's describe this as the Janice saga because it's more than really one case. And it's really about a completely different case called Abood. You're familiar with the Abood decision?
Yes.
So the Abood decision was precedent for what, 40 years?
I can't remember when Abood was decided, but it was precedent before Janice.
Yeah, and roughly 40 years, I'll tell you. And had repeatedly been reaffirmed.
It was a long-standing precedent.
Yeah, on which there was considerable reliance.
Let's see. So Janice did overrule that precedent, and so Janice did go through the application of the stare decisis factors in deciding whether to overrule it,
right.
Whether that.
And there was in fact reliance in the 40 years that it had been the law of the land on the question of the union question that it had resolved.
Well, I don't want to second guess or criticize or praise the majority in Janice's.
I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you, as a matter of fact, had 20 plus states relied on it?
Well, Senator, I think reliance and the degree of reliance on Abood is a legal question.
We'll just leave that then. So the Janice saga begins actually with a case called Knox, in which Justice Alito took a shot at Abood.
Senator Whitehouse, do you see Janice in the chamber? How about Abood?
I think it's invaluable to the committee and the country. And tell General Rives that I said hello. He was my boss when I was in the Air Force. Thank you very much. You're dismissed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our second panel.
Right now, they are wiping down things.
Yeah. COVID compliance.
Full COVID compliance going on here.
Hold on. Yes, wait a minute. Wait, hold on a second. Lindsey Graham won't get the microphone. I'm going to spray that down. This pandemic is hell.
As they're getting set up there, and as you can hear,
Give me a little bit of that spritz.
Oh, here, hold on. Wait, turn around.
Oh, yes.
Oh, there you go.
I saw that.
To the
Judge
back.
Barrett.
To the back. Ready?
I saw Judge, as you're spraying me, I saw Judge
go.
Barrett had the mask on. We know she wants to keep the mask on, but she'd like a robe from the U.S. Supreme Court as well. It looks like she'll get it October 22. This committee that's currently scrubbing down all of the surfaces and countertops is setting a vote for October 22 for the committee vote.
Yeah, and very interesting the way that this goes now. You've got two additional witnesses who will sit before the panel of senators on the Judiciary Committee. Republicans bringing in people largely to speak to the record and the character of Amy Coney Barrett. Democrats not necessarily making this a personal attack, but certainly questioning what might happen if Amy Coney Barrett is a justice and faces issues like the Affordable Care Act, like voting rights, like reproductive rights for women.
It's like a courtroom proceeding that most of us are probably familiar with, where the expert doctor or the expert forensic person comes in to make an argument that benefits the person who invited them, typically.
We'll jump back in and listen in on Senator Lindsey Graham. Obviously fiddling with
Spray
this.
that. Where my moist towel at? Where my hand sanitizer?
Mr. Chair, I would like to filibuster the Purell.
Oh, this is hell. My oxygen saturation.
Why did we even have the hearings going this whole time? We could have just had
Would you
do
tell
it.
Mike Lee to go into an iron lung rather come on down here, breathe upon us, and Dianne Feinstein? Heck, I saw her going through the airport. She had no mask. Even Judge Barrett had the mask, and she's a guest in this chamber.
From the floor, Mr. Chairman, I want to breathe freely in this greatest democracy.
I don't care about your breathing. I want a mask. I won't get COVIDs.
Okay, that was
Criminals, but they're doing it all while wearing masks.
My client, yes, he's a bank robber, a street mugger, and a petty thief. But, Your Honor, in these days of a pandemic, my client was wearing a mask.
Yes, but Counselor, your client was wearing a mask in 2002 when he robbed the Wells Fargo.
And in the mugshot, he's wearing the mask.
911 emergency. Hi, a guy just came through my window and stole my Keurig coffee machine. Well, what did he look like, Mr. Whitman? Well, that's a good question. He had a face covering. I know he had eyes. Amber Alert. He had eyes. Yeah, 2 of them. But what did he look? Well, come to think of it, half 3/4 of his face was covered because he told me he didn't want to get coronavirus.
And you know when you're getting close to the food court, because then you smell that.
That's my favorite smell.
I know you do. You love a food court. It's like Epcot Center, and you don't have to leave Glendale.
It's like Epcot Center without all the highfalutin attitude.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I'm going to get a cheesesteak. That's Philly. I'm going to get a slice. That's Italian. And I don't have to act like I'm some sort of globalist.
A little, maybe Japanese bowl, perhaps. Maybe
Right.
A little sushi. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some Chinese food,
Yeah.
right? Take me to Beijing with that one. But I'm not some highfalutin globalist who's going to, speak 7 languages. I'm just a fat guy who wants to eat a lot of different food.
Right. You're in Beijing one day and had hot dog on a stick the next day.
And I don't even have to leave the table. You know what I mean? And I set up a little fortress. I put my stuff at my
sure,
table.
you have like a little buffet.
Because I've been known to go to the food court, and I'll hit 2 or 3 different places.
I've
Because
seen you stay there all day.
variety is the spice of life.